Hello. Today we are going to be working on a really exciting group project, and it has to do with color, psychology, mostly murals, and I'm going to talk about the impact on murals in our life. So I have a quote here. Humans were found to turn inward in monotoned environments, which may induce feelings of anxiety, fear, and distress resulting from understimulation. This lack of stimulation further creates a sense of restlessness, excessive emotional response, difficulty in concentration, and irritation. Okay, so if this is true, this is a fact, it's been studied. Why do schools and workplaces look like this? I know many of you have probably been in a room that looks like the left and the right. As you get older, maybe if you're in elementary school or middle school, the teachers add color on the walls with your projects, bulletin boards. Everybody has different borders on their bulletin boards and post-it notes that are colorful. But as you get older, unfortunately, less color is in your workspaces. So why do they do that? Why are 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 we in these monotoned environments which make us feel anxiety and maybe restless and do not want to work in places where we're supposed to be working and thinking outside the box? Um, in this TED Talk, you will learn how not only how color affects us, but it's basically the art of joy and how seeing color, whether it be on a balloon or walking down the street and you see a colorful rock path, it sparks joy. Now, the difference between joy and happiness is achieved over time. Joy is something that you feel immediately. For example, someone hands you a lollipop, immediately you feel joy. That lollipop didn't bring you, make you happy. I mean, it made you happy, but the feeling of immediate happiness is joy. So this woman, you'll learn her name's Ingrid. She will talk about joy, and she has studied it. There's even the background right here. This is a city that had very high crime. It had uh the poverty rate was high, businesses were closed, it was dangerous, there was crimes, kids didn't want to go to school. They had a new mayor come in who had an art background. He slowly started adding colors to the walls in his city, and crime went down. People started leaving their homes, spending more money in small businesses, and transformed the city. Not any politics. It was purely color. Okay, so color does affect your mood, and it does bring you joy, and it's contagious. So we're going to look at some examples of unexpected places that we could paint some murals. So our project is going to be, I'm going to choose, each group have 5 students, and as a group, you are going to decide where you're going to paint a mural that's going to impact your community. So these are some examples of murals that are in a community. For example, let's say it's a park. There's basketball courts that have been painted. A lot of them have been in urban settings where there's not a lot of trees, and maybe you want to bring some color to the neighborhood so that kids could play and feel safe, and maybe it'll affect that community in a positive way. Another thing would be abandoned homes, or maybe a house that's just in a neighborhood. I would feel very happy just driving by, or like just looking at art. Okay. I know down the street from our school, we have another abandoned school that did not, they haven't torn, I don't know if they're going to tear it down or what they're going to do, but I could totally see a mural on that abandoned building in town. These are this one on the left that says "Our future depends on you." This is in a school. Okay, so from our school we have a lot of school murals. on the right is a pool. I thought that was a super cool, creative way, unexpected. I've also never seen something like that. So if there's a place that your group decides to paint, it doesn't, it could be just your bedroom. It could be, anything in the public, whatever it is. But you're going to brainstorm today where you think art could be, um, and we're gonna talk about that because a lot of the on our last project we had a lot of the art history slides were pop artists and artists that are actually started off as graffiti and mural artists. So we're gonna kind of make that connection at the end of this trimester and talk about those connections because art is all connected. It all kind of is in the same pool, but it's broken down into different things. So anyway, so this is the steps for the group project. Notice on the right this really colorful children's hospital. A lot of hospitals do not look like that. And I feel like that's very sad. And it's a moment where you need that joy. You need color. I think if any place having a hospital or a waiting room for the doctor's office, I know many of you, including myself, have sat in the doctor's office and you're just like feeling terrible, but maybe a little color might spark you up a little bit. So anyway, step one would be brainstorm with your group. Step two is think of ideas, think of colors and emotions that we learned last week. You could paint using markers, you could use your computer, however it's going to be. Now, step three would be explaining a Google slideshow, which I will show next week. And then step four, which would be the last thing you will present. Do not worry about anything except for maybe step 1 and 2 today. Don't skip ahead. Don't worry about this slide. This is just us, your slides. The last thing, colors and psychology, something to think about, okay? When you're painting your murals, think about all the different connections that colors have on people. All right, we did talk about this last time, so if you want a copy of those slides, that's no problem. If you have no further questions, we will begin. I will send you to your breakout rooms and we could work on our mural project. Please watch slide 2 as a group. That is where you're going to learn about just all the different colors and places and all the facts about how murals affect community. Thank you and have a wonderful time planning with your groups.